next speaker is Mr. Samuel Adeniyi, and he'll be speaking about leading the AI classroom, why teachers must stay ahead of their students in the age of artificial intelligence. Sam will also be sharing with us some of the things he does with his office and how they are leveraging AI to do stuff, and how, like I said, he's going to talk a little bit about how, as institutions, we can develop our own AI platform with our own data sources. So Sam, welcome. Thank you for joining us. And then you can just go ahead and have your presentation.
All right. Okay. Yeah. Thanks so much. Prof, thank you so much for those insights that you've shared. Sorry, can everyone hear me okay?
Yes.
Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, thanks so much, Prof, for those insights. And I think probably I'm going to start from the last statement you made about hallucination. And I think that is where we as educators need to lead the AI classroom, because we have more experience and we have more domain knowledge than most of the students anyway. Okay, I'm going to share my screen now. Yeah, I'm trying to look for where to share screen. Sorry.
You will see the share button beside the microphone. Yes.
Gotcha. Allow. Sorry, this is using this for the first time, so I'm just trying to allow it.
So you see the option to, once you see the share icon, you see the option to either share a window or share.
Yeah, I've seen that. So I'm going to let me know if you can see my screen.
Yes, we can see your screen, but it's not in the presentation mode. So
okay, let me get into presentation mode now. Then I'm just going to share. Okay, perfect. Sorry, 1 minute. Okay, good stuff. Yeah, I'm trying to get it into presentation mode. Then I'm going to share again.
Then that means you have to share that screen.
Yes, I will. Okay, good. This should be presentation mode. Let me know what you can see.
Yes, it is. Thank you.
Awesome. So yeah, like you said, I'm Sam Adeniyi, and I'm just going to be taking us through leading the AI classroom. Why teachers must stay ahead of students in the age of AI. Please, sometimes I'm prone to talking too fast. Please, yeah. If I'm talking too fast, just tell me to calm down. No worries. I know. Yeah. And yeah, so this is why what I'm going to be talking about today. And that's why I said I'm going to base it off from what Prof said previously about AI hallucination, ability for AI to just generate content that's probably forceful or they're not related. And for me, I used to be a teacher before I turned software engineer. For about 7 years, I was teaching, and I realized teachers are domain knowledge experts, and they understand this subject way better than the students. They have the experience. They've seen almost in and out of it. That's why teachers need to lead this. So I'll go just a very brief introduction about myself. So I have background in mathematics from College of Education in Ilorin. I used to love teaching. I still say it till today. My goal was to become a math teacher. I love math to that extent. Then I did statistics from the University of Ilorin. Then I switched to software engineering. Did my master's in artificial intelligence and doing PhD also in artificial intelligence. Currently, I work as a software engineer, and we is an edtech company. So we provide software that enables educators and students to either learn or to facilitate learning. So I'm still kind of in the education industry, but right now, not as a teacher, but as someone empowering learning through technology. My interest had always been in language models for either gaming, health, or education. And this takes us to what we are going to be discussing today is AI is already in the classroom, yeah. And as teachers, we either lead or follow. So, and I put this direct to everybody. Like, do you want to lead or you want to follow? And our students are extremely smart, and this is why we need to lead. And in a few minutes, my promise is to transform us from AI anxious to AI advantage. Our ability to use AI to our advantage. I'll try as much as possible to just share practical strategies that we can use. And I know a lot of tools has been shared today, so I'm not going to be sharing so much about tools, but for me, it's sharing more about paradigm shift, mindset shift, so that teachers can know that we need to have ability to lead. We have the ability to lead, but we need to consciously take the step to lead AI in our classroom. Um, Current reality today is I got this from a paper and I put the source there, which focuses on medical students. And I believe medical students goes through more strenuous learning processes. While almost about 82% of students already using AI for assignment or for studying, and 55 are or believes AI can enhance their performance. While few shows concerns around potential distraction, and that is true because right now you have a whole lot of AI too, and if you are not careful, you find yourself in this loophole of just going from one tool to the other and to the other and to the other without making any meaningful progress or making any learning. And also academic distrust, because now, and this is where I personally feel teachers can lead, right? Academic distrust, part of AI, where we need to set policies, we need to set ethical standards for students to use AI, and they need to show that they are using AI. And the core risk here is plagiarism, misinformation, and over reliance, right? Over reliance. And over reliance is when students just completely suspend their critical thinking to AI tools to do for them. Now, last year I did a research last year where I was able to get about 730 teachers, and I know some of them might probably also be in this conference. And one thing that struck me was how many teachers currently use AI. I see that the number is almost even, and our goal as a country is to get this number way higher than this. Ability for teachers to use AI to more frequently and get aware of it. We realized that about 12% of the teachers that participated were hardly use AI, probably once in a month, right? And we have people that use it more frequently, but we need to get all of these numbers out. Then some core challenges also evolve around is this cheating or innovation? How do I access authentic learning? What if I don't understand the technology? I know some of us had gone past some of this conversation or some of these questions, right? For me, it's just to remind us of some of the things that we've already known. And I know some people are still in this particular stage trying to figure out, oh, how can I access authentic learning from a student? Or how do I understand what this AI is doing? How do I understand if they are using it? And like one core fear also is, will AI completely replace traditional teaching method? We are going to try as much as possible to go through all of this and answer some of these questions. Please let me know what slides can you see, please.
The governance.
Awesome. I just want to be sure that we are on the same space. Now, so I came up with, after my research, I came up with, okay, like a framework introduction that I'm just going to introduce to us which is like, and this was the gap analysis, just 3 competency gap, right? We have technical gap, there's understanding AI capabilities. How does AI work? Then we have the ability to integrate AI into our teaching. Then the most important one is assessment. How do I use AI to evaluate assessment? How do I use AI to make my assessment more AI inclined, or to meet what students currently use AI for right now? Then I just want to get people's feedback here, right? Can you just type in one word, describe the biggest AI fear that you have as an educator? What is the biggest AI fear that you have? I'm just going to pick some of those and probably just go through with us. Now, I have this thing I used to say: teachers are supposed to be AI leaders and not AI followers. While I wait for us to bring in our input, I just want to know, what do we fear about AI? Just one word to describe what it is. So yeah, we've talked about this. We've talked about the gap analysis, which is just the three. And now I have this Monday morning framework, right, which is going to probably go back: laziness, wrong information. AI will give me wrong fact. Always, AI always give us wrong fact, right? That's why most of those models are still training. So I only have 3 responses here. And laziness is like core. The Monday morning framework is just moving from these fears, right? Yeah, and going to a framework. First is, remember, our goal is to lead the AI classroom. Like, that is the core. And teachers need to lead these conversations in the classroom. Now, sometimes to come about, we have these phrases that we use: do not use AI, but we need to be changing some of those phrases. So instead of do not use AI, is how do I teach students to use AI responsibly, right? Instead of trying to detect and punish AI use, right? How am I going to teach them to be able to intelligently, right, collaborate with AI? And so we don't see them as, oh, because you're using AI, you are cheating. Most of them doesn't know this, right? They just wants to finish their assignment. And like somebody rightly says, laziness. Students are lazy. And I think almost everyone, if we have the privilege, we are lazy. We just want to get things done and move to the next one. And this is why I feel this framework will help us to be able to lead all of this conversation. So I group them into like 3 layers: AI permission, AI integration, and AI mastery. So I'll just go to the first one, which is uh, layer 1, which is AI permission. Sorry, are we on the same page, please?
Yes, you.
Okay, I just want to be sure. AI permission. And here, what I'm trying to come out is, can we lead an AI transparent classroom? Meaning, I'm deliberately giving my students the permission to use AI, and we are going to get to the next phase where we are going to say how we integrate this, right, into our learning, right? We should replace phrases like "do not use AI" to "here is how to use AI responsibly," because most of them doesn't know how to use AI responsibly. Then we should create simple AI citation requirements. For every time you use an AI in your studies, you use an AI in your learning, cite it, cite the application, cite the time, and all of those things. Then also, which is very important, is we need to show students that we use AI in preparing for some of those courses, because that is where the transparency comes in, right? So that they are aware that we use AI in creating some of this course material. And I've seen policies, a whole lot of policies around, oh, okay, let's create policies so that students know all of these policies, and some schools are already adapting it. So I have this template, right, which was generated by me from ChatGPT. Is just a template for every courses. So our AI tools like ChatGPT are permitted in learning as an assistant, and we can let them know that you can use it, right? But when using it, yeah, you need to show how AI contributed to what you've done, what is your understanding, what does AI miss out, and how can you critically assess what you've gotten from that. And this leads us to the layer 2. After we've given permission, that, okay, right now we all know I'm using AI as your instructor or as your teacher to facilitate this class to create some of my content, some of my lesson notes, even some of the assignment I'm going to be giving to you. Now, how do we integrate this into our daily teaching method, right? And this is where this goes, right? So we need to integrate this into our lesson note creation. We need to assign AI collaboration group projects to students. Yeah. So this is beyond us just giving them assignment. We're going to go to assignment into core. Is we should be able to let them be able to use AI to generate initial analysis. And just like Prof said previously, right? We should use AI to generate this initial analysis that you go through yourself to validate the authenticity and critically just look at the content that the AI generates. And you mentioned something, right, which is speed. I think that's what AI is giving us right now. It's giving us speed. Stuff that takes 3 months previously, we should be able to do it in a month. We should be able to do it way less than 3 months. And that is where integration comes in. And as teachers, sometimes we should take prompt engineering very seriously so that we can teach students how to prompt effectively instead of prompting to solve the problem. But how can I solve the solution to this assignment collaborating with AI? So I'm not saying AI should just directly give me what the answers are, but I'm saying AI should spike my curiosity to be able to know how to answer these questions. And the last one is AI mastery. And this is where we are as individual, which is going to be ongoing. As a teacher, how can I make sure at every point in time, I'm learning more. I'm learning more about AI. I'm learning more about these tools. I'm using them almost every time. Now, this is where our assignments needs to now focus on what we as human beings do the most, which is either critical analysis, cultural analysis, and ethical reasoning. Those are where we keep mastering and we keep collaborating AI into every part of our teaching. Now, I have this one, which is like it is core for me because assessment is where we felt student uses AI the most. Because an average student wants to just do the assessment and move on. I want to be sure we are on the same page. Which slide are we currently looking at? You said? Okay, awesome. Yeah. So because I know sometimes students doesn't even want to learn, they just want to submit the assessment and get the highest score as possible. And I feel this is where we need to now have new assessment formats, where we set assessment with the intention that students are going to use AI anyway. So we are moving beyond trying to dictate cheating, but to embed AI into our learning, into our assessment. And here, so previously we can say, how do I catch students cheating with AI? But now we should be, and that's what makes the complete difference here. Now we should be talking about how do I assess learning that includes AI collaboration. So I give an assessment. Oh, I want to identify students that cheat because they use AI. But the mind shift now is how do I assess learning that includes AI collaboration? How do I know that my students are using AI? And to be honest with you, that shift in thinking is going to change everything completely. So it's moving us from being a detective, right, to becoming a coach. So we are actively or proactively coaching our students here to develop AI literacy alongside with subject mastery with them. And I felt our assessment should probably include things like, AI assisted and defense. So for example, I can set an assessment that says, use a particular AI to research a particular topic, and document your AI prompt and what your AI responses are. So I want to see what prompt my students are using. I want to see what response they are getting from an AI. For example, I can say, use AI to analyze the course of Nigerian's 1960 to 1970 civil war, then present your analysis to the class, explaining what AI source you used, what perspective it must have missed, right? What insights do you add to your knowledge, and the Nigerian history? Because, and again, we already know that sometimes AI doesn't give us exactly the best response. It doesn't give us exactly the truth about all of those things. So our ability to let students be able to document some of these things is going to help. And the other one is a process portfolio. Instead of just completely grading students, oh, you submitted this essay and I just grade you. Yeah, we should move from that to reflecting on what AI could and couldn't do in all of those assessments, and that could probably info ability to show your AI prompt, your AI analysis of the prompt, and describe what you used from those prompts, from the response, and what you rejected from the response. In that way, we are teaching students to understand that, oh, you'll be able to filter responses from AI and so that you can differentiate between what is true. And at that point, what they are learning is critical thinking, right? They're putting in their critical cap into use. Then the other one is comparative analysis, which is what I've just talked here. It gives us ability to know what are the limitations of this AI, what can they do, or what can they do? How do they answer questions? And I gave like a template here, which just break down assessment into parts. Tell them to identify areas where AI had gone wrong or where it has missed. Then how would they improve their analysis, and they can collaborate together in the classroom setting. Then I said, I know there's been a whole lot around essential tools that has been described here today. ChatGPT, Cloud, Google Bard. We've all seen all of these things, and we have an idea of how to use them. That is why I want this particular very short presentation really to focus on mindset shift, ability for us to move our mindset. And I know that is why most of us are here. So we are moving our mindset from being a detective to being a coaching, ability for us to coach students in the classroom. And one other thing I wanted to add to all of this is academic integrity frameworks. We can build frameworks around transparency, around attribution, around understanding, around originality, and around responsibility, right? Students can use the same prompt, but the responses from most of these models is going to be different, right? And that is where originality comes in. Ability for students to be able to differentiate from those responses and know exactly what was valid and what was invalid. And again, asking them students to now come up with documenting what their prompts are and what the responses are in a way helps to be them to be able to differentiate what is timed to be truthful and what you can completely timed to be not truth about that particular topic. And as teachers, we already know all of these things anyway, and that is why we need to move completely to the coaching approach in the current AI classroom. And I think I want to make this as brief as possible so we don't go into then. I'm going to use the rest of the time. If we have questions, we can drop it in the chat. Then I can run us through samples of how we can create all of these templates for assessments and the rest. And yeah, this is super brief, and that is awesome. That's my last slide. Thank you so much. So I'm happy to take questions if anyone has questions or you need clarity. I want this to be more collaborative because we do this every time, right? If you have questions, you need more clarity, just let me know. I'm happy to use the next 10-15 minutes to do that. Okay, I'm trying to just read through. I'm here.
All right. Thank you, Sam. Can we just take some questions if we have any questions for those of us online? or those of us on site. We just take 1 or 2 questions before we have, we can take questions.
Yeah, I think someone's hand is up.
All right, so he has 15 minutes. All right, Mark, you said you have a question. Mark, I can see your hand up. Mark Valentine Aikins. Can you ask your question?
Yeah, hello. Thank you very much, Sam. That was very rapt presentation. Thank you. Yes, so I was struck by the last but 2 slide before this, where we are looking at the kind of what do you call it, assignment yes, this slide, the kind of assignment or assessment we give to our learners today. Of course, we are in the age of AI. We can never keep giving them multiple choice or, what is kind of assessment so they can easily prompt ChatGPT. My question has to do with if I am to hone my prompt engineering skill as an educator, what should I start? Where should I start? Because I feel that it is not just giving a question to the chatbot or the AI. There's a way. Sometimes there's a context. Sometimes you have to look at certain things. Where do I start?
Okay, thank you so much. I think the starting point is to use it. So let me give you an illustration. So I started learning how to play long tennis like a week ago. And I'm trying to get how to position my hand to have a good strike. And my coach told me, Sam, just keep striking, right? First, you need to get the ball inside the net, inside the other side, before you start perfecting your positioning. And for me, for AI to start using it, right, as much as possible. The more you use it, the more you figure out the best way to use it. Then the other one is to read a lot about it. So I have a couple of books. I don't know if it's even close by. About there is this guy that wrote a book on. I can't find it. Yeah, this one. Yes, this is it. So, if anyone have seen this book before, which is Co-Intelligence, Living and Working with AI, it's a very good book that I think every educator should read. And also, if you've seen this one before, which is the AI Classroom, is also a good book. So for me, I think the starting point is to use it as much as possible. Then, because you know your students, you know the topic, you can figure out when the responses are right and when the responses are wrong. And that is where prompting comes in. Yeah. The more you use it, the more you figure out how to use it. So the frequency of usage is the best. I don't know if that makes sense.
Right. Thank you, Sam.
You're welcome.
All right, any other question?
By the way, Sam, can we get an ebook of that title that you showed us?
Yeah, I'll see if the I'll find out if the ebook is somewhere. I'll share it. Yeah.
All right. Thank you.
All right, any other question? Mr. Sam still has like 12 minutes. If not, and then we can have.
I intentionally make this short so we can have a lot of time for questions.
Okay, so one of the sessions we had yesterday, we also discussed about assessment revolution, and I saw that some of the things that we talked about, you also reiterated them. But can you shed more light on comparative analysis and how you think doing this would bring the balance or bring a paradigm shift in the way assessment is done?
Yeah, I think, the comparative analysis here is, let me get my students to submit to me the same questions, but 2 different answers, right? One answer that I did without using AI, and the other one that I did with AI, which is that the students did with AI. Now, this is where it becomes tricky. because students can use AI for both and tell you, okay, this is without AI, this is with AI. But where the analysis comes in is letting students by themselves, right, critically analyze both answers, and come up with the prompt, document the response from the AI, and tell you the time it took to solve either of them. When I was doing it alone, was it faster for me? When I was using AI, how many distractions did I get? How many plagiarism issues did I run into? Can I completely, like Prof said previously, sometimes AI can cite a paper for you and mix up the names, mix up the publishers, mix up the edition and all of those things. How many of those can I figure out? And I think for assessment is ability to let students be able to differentiate between these things and report back on what their findings are while using AI for assessment. That is where the learning in itself takes place.
All right, thank you. Any other? I can see Dr. Edwards is still here. And I know we've had conversations around this before, assessment revolution or changing the way we assess. Do you want to share your experience with us as we round up this area, section? Is she there? Oh, I don't think she is. All right, any other question? If there are no questions, we'll just move over. That will give Dr. Elijah, Professor Elijah, a few more minutes to extend this session. All right, Mr. Sam, thank you so much for joining us and for sharing your experiences with us. We deeply appreciate your time and the effort you put into this. We look forward to further collaborations. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thanks.